So we've got bikes, we've got camera gear, we've got a full load in Mike Victor uniform. We've got a pretty nice day out there, and so we're going to take off and go to Tobermory.
I am hoping for some butter tarts.
There should be butter tarts. There's a craft brewery, there's a bunch of little restaurants. I've never been to Tobermory. I've flown over it lots of times, but I've never actually stopped into town.
I haven't been there in probably 20 years, so.
It's gonna be great. Let's go.
Oshawa Tower, Foxtrot, Mike Victor uniform, holding short 1-2 on Bravo for takeoff.
Oshawa, Mike Victor uniform, Oshawa Tower, left turn out 1705, clear takeoff, runway 12.
Clear takeoff 1-2, Mike Victor uniform. Oshawa ground, hello again, it's SR22 Charlie Fox uniform, Mike Whiskey.
Oshawa uniform, Mike Whiskey, Oshawa ground, good morning.
Sir, just coming out Tango 1
Ready,
for the main
Jules?
ramp, and when it's ready, we'll pick up our clearance there.
Uniform Mike Whiskey, ground taxi via Delta to the main apron. I do have your IFR here. It will be a full route readback required, and it is quite lengthy. Advise ready, copy.
Good, we'll get parked here and we'll copy it. Good morning,
Airspeed's alive. Taking the time, Jules?
Yeah. Recorded is 10
Oshawa Whiskey, Lima Victor, Oshawa ground 1.
Oshawa ground, Foxtrot Whiskey, Lima Victor, request taxi section to the active for a full stop circuit.
Whiskey, Lima Victor, ground runway 12, winds 1805, altimeter 3015, taxi Alpha Bravo, contact power 120.1, holding short.
Holding check 1-2, Foxtrot Whiskey, Lima Victor. That's uniform Mike Whiskey, ready to copy that clearance.
Uniform Mike Whiskey, ground, standby 1. Uniform Golf Bravo, are you ready for departure?
Affirmative, requesting a PFL on this one if you're
Uniform Golf Bravo, Tower PFL will be approved. Left-hand circuit, winds 1805, good takeoff, runway 12.
Oshawa Tower, Mike Victor uniform leaving the zone at 4,300.
Mike Victor uniform, Toronto 133.4, if you wish flight following, change armor frequencies.
Thank you very much, have a great day, Mike Victor uniform.
Can you see someone like 1,500 feet below us?
Oh yes, they're waving from the golf course.
They're just over the bay.
Sorry.
They're gone. They're so far below us they've fallen off the.
Oh, there's a plane over there.
Yep, that's them. So we're overhead the town of Collingwood. Used to be a big shipbuilding town for Great Lakes freighters. At one point, that's all gone. It's now one of those playground towns. It's got an incredible airport over here. It sees a lot of jet traffic
Yes.
in the summer and through the winter because Blue Mountain is here, which is a big ski resort. At one point, even though it's like not very big, it's not very tall,
800 feet.
it's not very
This is
challenging.
longest,
Yeah.
it's the longest drop, I think, is 800 feet. It's not long, it's not high.
But at one point, it was in a portfolio of ski resorts owned by the same company, and they had ski resorts like Whistler and what's the one in Colorado, Copper Mountain. Anyway, so these giant western mountain ski resorts, this one was their top earner.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of people that live within a couple hours of here.
Yeah, the proximity to 10 million people in the Golden Horseshoe just meant that it was a cash machine.
And of course, there's Blue Mountain, and then there's 2 or 3 private
Private
ski
other
places.
hills, like I can see them off the side here.
Yeah. And of course, it's just a great town that way, right? You've got the Bruce Peninsula, so you've got the Bruce Trail. If you want to go hiking,
Yeah.
you've got Wasaga Beach. Even just the beach in Collingwood's pretty,
Yeah, so even
although the water's really low this year, so not so much beach is rock, but
a lot of boating in the summertime and golf.
There's some really good windsurfing, actually, just
Yeah.
farther up the bay.
Hey Larry, quick Zulu, go ahead. Now we're just over Blue Mountain, the ski resort right now. We're 45 and we got aircraft up to our left, just slightly ahead of us, same altitude, 4,500 feet. Roger, we're just over Meaford now. I think it's Meaford here. Yeah, Meaford, 4,500, and we're going to head towards the Waterton. I'm going to give them a call for a wind check when I get closer to Waterton there, just for Tobermory, right? That sounds good, sounds good. We'll stay on this frequency with you. I'm not sure if that other fellow's on the frequency or not.
I certainly am. Foxtrot, Mike Victor Uniform, Cessna 172, 4500.
Okay, Mike, Victor Uniform, are you right over the airport? We're just on the about mile now south east of the airport at 4500 at the Tobermory.
No, I'm about 6 miles back, Mike Victor Uniform.
Oh, 6 miles back from Owen Sound? Oh, okay, great. No, Quebec Service, thanks.
To the east, 2,000 feet.
Hey, Victor Uniform, November Bravo Romeo. We're traveling with Quebec Sierra Zulu. You were just talking to him. We've been trying to locate you for us. We've been we're off to your right at the same altitude, 4,500 feet back from Owen Sound. We're all heading up to Tobermory.
I've been keeping an eye out for you. I haven't seen you yet.
We must be just about. You got a little bit ahead of us there a few minutes ago. We were at your 4 o'clock, but I've lost you now along the horizon there.
We'll keep an eye out for you.
Yeah, 100%, bud. I think we're well apart. Well, after you give them a check, give me a call back, and I'm going to figure out where, because I got a problem here with this other aircraft, because he must be right near us somewhere. You're far enough ahead of us. I'm not worried about you, but him I am.
I'm looking out the window. We're both looking out the window here, trying to see you, but we can't see you. And I guess you don't have ADSB because I don't see you on my screen either.
So did he say he is? I think I can see him.
So he's behind us.
Yeah, I think I can see him now. I think.
You hear all that, Joe?
Yes, yep, we're just north of that bay going into Wyerton now, and and the winds there in Wyerton are 190 at 6 knots, so it looks like it's going to be 12 for Wyerton, or for Tobermory probably.
So for most of this flight, over the last half an hour since Collingwood, there's a plane ahead of us going to Tobermory, and there's a plane behind us going to Tobermory. They're traveling together. And so we've been flipping back and forth. They're on the 126.7, which is the en route frequency, but they're also going to 122.75, 122.725, which is the Southern Ontario air-to-air frequency. If you're traveling with someone, that's where you're supposed to take your conversation.
Your offline conversation.
Your offline conversation to keep it out of the way.
Yep.
And so I've been listening to both while also flipping to the frequencies of the airports that we're flying over to give position reports to let people know that we're overhead the airport, and also listening in for the barometer. But there's a guy that's like right off our left wing somewhere, right off our right wing somewhere, or he could be off our left wing. We're not sure, but he's really close to us. Oh, we can't see him, and he doesn't have ADSB, so we'll see him at the airport.
Victor Uniform, it's Bravo Romeo here. We're directly over the little village of Lion's Head. Do you see that on your chart? We still don't see you.
I'm a beam Lion's Head, but on the other shoreline. So I'm looking at it, and I don't see you either. We're still at 4,500.
Okay, so you're on the west side of the peninsula then?
We are.
Okay, sounds good.
Are they in a parallel universe?
Kilo Uniform, did you get that? Bravo Romeo's just over Miller Lake now?
I did, and we're looking, but we still can't see you.
But you see Miller Lake, right?
I do see Miller Lake. Are you in a parallel universe?
No, we're west of
I'm not
Glen.
sure about that.
Why don't you just do a loop around? Get well behind him.
Tobermory traffic, Cessna 172, Mike Victor Uniform is 5 miles to the south, inbound for landing.
Everything's on, everything's in. Tanks are both locked. Carb heat on, mixture rich, and on the throttle.
Tobermory traffic, Mike Victor Uniform, turning final, runway 12, Tobermory.
Short final runway 12.
Woo. Well,
I don't know that I've ever bounced before with Bye.
Another stellar landing by Glen.
Tobermory traffic, Mike Victor Uniform backtracking 1-2 for the ramp, Tobermory.
All about practice.
Well, that's it. Crosswind was pretty hairy on the final there.
And that's it. In a different airport, you wouldn't have landed in that direction.
No, there would have been an alternate runway. Okay, time down, Jules.
Oh, yes. 11:40.
Oh, I got a message.
11:48.
Okay, so 2 folding bikes, kind of like origami. Julie's gonna film me trying to put them together.
I mean, I did watch you disassemble, well, not disassemble it, but fold it up. It doesn't seem, it goes really smoothly.
Okay.
It seems like uncomplicated. I have faith in you.
Okay, so start with the handlebar. Handlebar comes up. There is a thing that you push down here, and then you turn. There we go. Over here, you twist this, and the wheel releases. There's a lock inside. And then it's the same thing as the handlebars. You push down and you turn. And it clicks to tell you that it's locked. And then the back wheel locks in place. Seat comes up.
I don't know that you're that tall.
No, probably not that tall. The pedals also come off to make it a little bit more compact, so I'll put those pedals on as well. The pedals just slip in like that. So Mike Victor uniform is chalked and tied down, and off we go to the town of Tobermory.
The door?
So we made it to Tobermory. We just had fish and chips for lunch.
It was quite good.
Julie says she wants an ice cream.
I do.
We stopped by the brewery, got a couple of beers for later.
Yay!
Can't have them until the plane is all tucked away nice and safe in the hangar. And I spied a place by the airport that makes butter tarts.
Which was on our checklist.
So we'll grab some butter tarts on the way back to the plane, and we'll eat those in the air.
Oh, I hope that's not too messy. that could be a disaster for me.
Because they could be, I don't know, are they runny or are they firm?
I don't know.
What's your favorite butter tart, runny or firm? Little Cove Bakery and General Store, home of the Tobermory butter tart. But not today, Julie.
It's very sad.
Not today.
Very sad.
Very sad.
Oh well. I probably don't need it after I had that ice cream.
I was on the ride back out to the airport. I'm thinking, oh, it's great that we're riding bikes. Isn't that fantastic? We should be riding. Oh, getting some good exercise. No, I just ate fish and chips and an ice cream cone.
And then at that point, you were still thinking you were going to have a butter tart.
And then I still thought I was going to have a butter tart, but no, not today.
Tobermory traffic, Cessna 172, Foxtrot, Mike Victor uniform, kicking off runway 12, Tobermory traffic.
Here we are, runway 12. that wind as soon as we came over the trees.
Yes.
So as much as well as being a cute little town, Tobermory is a jumping off point for diving, scuba diving. These waters are filled with wrecks, aren't they?
Yeah, that's what I understand. My diving friends tell me anyway.
A lot of little shoals and rocks and stuff that have claimed boats, you know, since the British first arrived here, and the French first arrived here. And there's a bunch of glass-bottom boat tours that leave out of Tobermory that come out here and go around this island, Flowerpot Island, which is named for a karst, but I don't know if we're going to see the karst.
No, I think we might be a little bit high. I mean, I can kind of see.
The boat tours to Flowerpot Island actually stop at Flowerpot Island. Okay, so I can see some of the karst just here on this shore.
Yeah.
I don't know if the camera will see them, but you'll have to come to Tobermory and check it out. It's really cool. Beautiful up here. Huh. Little thunderstormy cell there. A couple of little spots over here.
We should stay away from those.
Yeah.
And Lake Muskoka traffic, so plane golf, November Zulu Delta is over ballast, that's not really at 3,000 feet, Lake Muskoka.
The things that's amazing though is that with this technology, you can see that.
Yes. Well, and
now, to a certain extent, you can see it out the window too.
I'm looking at the window, and I see sort of some stuff down there that looks like it's starting to tower. And yes, technically, we don't have ADS-B coverage in Canada. ADS-B works though, and you know, there it is right there, and over here again on my iPad. There are ADS-B towers in Canada that are put in by a private group, a non-profit. A bunch of pilots get together, come up with a couple $1,000s, and they put it in an ADS-B tower, and they chip in some money each year to keep it working. So there's no official government Transport Canada at this point coverage, but private groups are coming in and doing it, and so you know we do get weather in southern Ontario. I don't guarantee that, you know, Timmins, maybe Timmins eventually.
Edenville traffic, this is Cessna 172, Mike Victor Uniform, requesting any information on parachute drops today over Wasaga. Is anyone out there? Edenville.
Skyline 1 is currently on the ground. We'll be going up in another maybe 10 minutes later.
Thank you very much for that. We'll be transiting between Wasaga and Edenville at 3,000 feet. We should be gone before you're off the ground. Thank you. Mike Victor Uniform.
Have a good flight.
You too. Oshawa Tower, this is Foxtrot, Mike Victor Uniform.
Yankee Romeo Whiskey Tower, clear to land, runway 12.
Clear to land, Golf Yankee Romeo Whiskey.
Oshawa, Mike Victor Uniform, Oshawa Tower.
Oshawa Tower, Mike Victor Uniform is a Cessna 172, currently abeam the town of Uxbridge at 2,900 with information Papa, inbound for landing on a VFR flight plan from Tobermory.
Mike Victor Uniform Tower, Squawk 5323. Runway 12, winds 140 at 6, altimeter 3011.
Squawk 5323, expect runway 12, Mike Victor Uniform. Oshawa Tower, Mike Victor Uniform, 5 mile final 12.
Mike Victor Uniform Tower, continue inbound number 2 following Cessna, just joining a right base about 2 miles west of the field.
Looking for the traffic, Mike Victor Uniform.
Tower Oscar Whiskey joining right base, can resume normal speed.
Oscar Whiskey Tower, you can keep the speed up till just before turning the final approach. Traffic's on a 4.5 mile final to follow you.
We'll go Oscar Whiskey.
Mike Victor Uniform Tower, spacing looks good. Oscar Whiskey Tower, exit left runway 05, left turn again on Bravo. On Bravo, contact ground 1184. Thanks again for the help.
No problem, Oscar Whiskey.
Mike Victor Uniform Tower, traffic exiting at the runway intersection, winds 140 at 7 knots, clear to land, runway 12.
Cleared 12, Mike Victor Uniform.
Okay, so you see those 4 lights?
Yep.
They're We're all white, which means we're high.
Oshawa Glen, this is Foxtrot Tango Uniform Charlie, Cessna
The two on the right
115 at
should
T1.
be red, and the two on the left should be
Tango
white.
Uniform Charlie, Oshawa ground.
There we go. Now, if the two on the left start to turn red, we're too low.
Oscar Ground, Oscar Whiskey on Bravo for Enterprise.
Oscar Whiskey, Oscar ground, taxi Bravo for Enterprise. Have a good night.
Thank you too, Oscar Whiskey.
Yeah, we're fine.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, at this point, we're landing.
The relative thing.
Oh, did you see how we greased that? I'm so happy.
Was a,
Bravo, bravo, bravo.
Mike Victor. Mike Victor Uniform Tower, exit left Charlie, contact ground 1184.
Exit Charlie, contact ground 1184, thank you.
So, we made it back to Oshawa. Absolutely greased that landing.
It was beautiful.
Kind of vindicated myself after several not great landings over the last little while. But none of them were dangerous. None of them were that bad.
No, they just weren't full of grace.
They weren't graceful. They weren't beautiful. They weren't, you know, that last one, you didn't even know that we had hit the pavement. It was so nice.
It was pretty nice.
Pretty nice. Okay, so thanks for tagging along.
I think the bikes were a big success.
The bikes were a very big success.
Very lovely to ride.
Thank you, Helix, for helping us out with those bikes, and I'll link to them down below. Titanium bikes made in Toronto, made by robots, which I think is amazing. Eventually, I will have footage of our bikes being put together. They are welded together by robots, which I think is absolutely crazy. So, thanks for coming along, and we'll see you again soon.